It's Reality Media. The incredible facts.
Tebalonze olanya balonze Mwami Museveni era Mwami Museveni yagambye nti yakubye essimu mpaka saa 6 gwa kiro nga yeegayirira abantu nga candidate gwatunda tatundika.
Bangi beeyambisizza nnyo emitimbagano okutyobola ekitiibwa kya Buganda.
That is Reality Media. Twogera incredible facts. Subscribing, liking, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, buli wamu Instagram.
Twogera mazima.
In my opinion, that day we had assassination on Afande Chilumira, that would have informed police to prepare a comprehensive workout on future assassins or assassinations.
That means the way I'm getting it, like maybe even these culprits, like they are using that kind of weakness within the system. People may be somewhere, but they are using that weakness. Exactly. Even if we kill them, they will come like it.
So police would have developed a comprehensive investigation, a comprehensive close-up of future localities of similar nature. In my opinion, I would think that if this happened, police would have used equipment like helicopters, to fly over the area, you get, to have called all the manpower police officers to cut off the area, you get, because Jesus, you know, the exit
almost
routes.
every village has at least
You have exit routes. You have nearby posts, police posts, and stations around. Why not call off and
just
surround the area?
Just a mere radio calling.
You get.
Walk-talk.
You have patrols moving.
Yeah.
You get. So
And there are so many people on ground who are in plain clothes.
Yeah. Secondly, you have cameras around. They release the video, a footage afterwards, showing how they were patrolling. You get. Why not use the video to close up the area? Get my point?
Yeah, I get you.
So because we've had towards after the Second World War, Europe and America experienced a tragedy in primal currency. There came a new cell of criminals called serial killers. When
After the Second World War, yes.
Yes.
Okay, some guys like Inspector Derek, a German, became famous.
You
And
get.
we used to watch his series.
For them, this was a result of psychological trauma that came as a result of the Second World War. People developed mental illnesses and became criminals, serial killers. So for them, what they did, they developed ways of counterplay that. They invested so much in training and educating police in criminology. That's when the criminology as a course came around 60s, 70s. They developed so much criminal investigations, crime scene investigations. They developed scientific ways. Because even unless you think like the criminal, you cannot catch the criminal.
You have to first put yourself into the shadow of a criminal.
That means you must hire very intelligent people. You train them, they become specialists in that particular field. You get? So what I'm trying to say that is that the scientific means of apprehending crime or organized criminals requires heavy deployment, requires heavy investment as a country in scientific ways.
If you want to get scientific results,
Yes.
which are accurate
Yes.
in investigating about crime, you must invest a lot.
What am I saying? Because this pattern of killing by motorcycle and gun, what started with the killing of State Attorney
John Kabezi.
Kabezi. But we're talking
But
about...
even some Muslims have been killed before.
And that's when the Muslim killing pattern started. Same
That started before, I
pattern.
think.
You get? We've lost close to 20 people.
In the
That's
same way.
the same way.
almost, yeah.
We almost 7 years as a country. What do we have on table? Nothing.
I understand. I get
You
you.
get?
now.
What we have on table is nothing.
The
So
investigations
that
are
comes
done
with
and
questions.
left on the table.
You get? That comes with question. I want to give you something. If you look at police status report of 2019 alone, you realize that 249 were reported cases by shooting.
249.
49 reported cases by shooting in 2019 alone. You get? But in the previous year, 2018, there were 181. We don't know what the police status report will tell us about 2020. It can be 500.
That means it is increasing.
It is increasing.
Because
And what-
181, 249,
249.
that is 19.
Almost
but-
40% increase.
Yeah.
But what
around
is
60.
very alarming is that out of the 249 reported shootings in 2019 alone, only 19 cases have been prosecuted past pre-trial level.
The rest,
Only 19 cases have been prosecuted past pre-trial level. What does that inform us? Inform us that either these are so sophisticated shootings, or we lack experience academically and experience-wise personnel in the police
to handle.
such
Oh, yeah,
specific
yeah.
cases. You get? This tells us that almost over 80% of reported shootings of 2019 have not yet been sanctioned for hearing.
And we ask ourselves, is it because the police
2
doesn't
years.
have manpower?
2 years. So where are these people?
And we
Because
always
we're going to
recruit
arrest
people.
we're going to arrest wrong people.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that motivates a killer like seeing you parading a wrong offender.
I killed, and I see you being
It
paraded.
motivates me a lot. You
Yeah,
get?
seriously.
It makes me wise. Look wise, and I can prepare
These
more
guys
for
have
the
not
next
yet
shooting.
understood my tricks.
You get?
Then it
And in those developed countries, that is something they don't want because it empowers the criminal to plan for the next. And that's how serial killers are developed. If you don't solve an offense, he will do another one to test you, do another one to test you, then another. That's how serial offenders come into play.
Viewers, we are still watching Rarity Media. We are trying to see the nature and scope of crime investigation with the Mr. Zimwanguiza Kasule. We also continue to urge you to subscribe to Rarity Media, Spotify, Facebook. You like us, view us to at least complete all the videos. Unlike others, we have incredible facts and we speak the facts. We want to see that at least we're different. Mr. Kasule, what could be the role of the community in this investigation? Do we need the community? I mean these bystanders, those kind of people who are able to explain. I saw him, he shoot like this, then he wrote like this. Do we have a few, the person who started this thing? Do you think we have a community has to play a role in this, and what is it in case?
I have no locus to answer that question. But what I can say is that a civilized community or population will actually inform the country quite a lot. A civilized...
Generally, I wanted you to put more light on the role of the population or community in crime scene investigation. It's like if I'm standing somewhere and I saw something taking place, what do you as an investigator, what do you expect from me? What role should I play? Mr. Museveni will call them wananchis. What could be the role of the wananchi in this?
Yeah.
Which is safe for me.
Mm,
I don't want to also put myself in
danger.
the target of the assassin.
In most cases, it is very difficult to find a civilized police force with uncivilized population. It is very difficult to find
A
a
civilized police.
sophisticated modern police with uninformed population.
Population.
A police establishment in a criminal investigation will inform you of the public. I don't know whether you get my point. You get?
They will get us.
You can't expect a population to be so smart about crime scene investigations when the police itself is weak.
Oh.
You get my point? So, to cut your question short, is that civilization of the populace is a responsibility of the state. A state generally, you must work hard to civilize your population. You get? Police, the state through the police has a duty to inform the population of these kind of occurrences and how to handle crime scenes. But more so, sometimes this kind of education and information is passed on indirectly. If you do not educate your population to a certain level, average level of academic qualification, such a person will not be informed of the need to preserve a crime scene.
Previously, the police had a program, like Ghana Police had a program of community policing.
Community policing.
Community policing. Does it still exist?
Community policing does not come at a level of educating. It comes at the level of civilization. If your population is civilized, they will know the need to do policing at a community level.
Because
You do not have to educate and put up community policing officers. You get? People must be civilized, must be educated to the level of realizing the need to preserve crime scenes. So if you go to a crime scene, you see the people who contaminate the crime scene, the people who are less educated, people who never went to school. Because me, as a person who went at least
or who are not
CFO,
informed.
who are not, I will know that I'm not required to go there. You good? I must have seen it or studied it or read it somewhere that it is very important to keep a crime scene. But that does not relax the work of the police to always educate the population. Not necessarily to put up crime scene, you take people for cadre training, muchaka.
Thought so.
But no. That's not. Actually, the concept of community policing is outdated in modern policing. Very outdated.
Because I'm looking at what happened in America last time, 2 years back, 1 year, about George Floyd, who
Yes.
was chopped. You find that it was, if it wasn't that young lady,
Yes,
17 years,
Who covered?
who filmed the whole stuff,
Yes.
maybe the world wouldn't have known.
Exactly. Now this is how I'm going to answer the question.
Okay.
Do you think that young lady went into training of community policing
No.
to do that?
No.
It is civilization awareness
All right.
of the need to do certain things
All
at the
right.
right time.
All right.
You get?
All right.
So you realize that it is that video that went up to court.
It went very viral.
You get? And it was the same video that was used in court to convict
Convict.
George Floyd.
It's true. Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. It goes back to how have you educated your population, your
So for you, the
generation.
general concept is about civilization
Civilization
of the masses.
of the masses. It will inform these people at a later stage on how to preserve and manage the crime scene.
But do we need them?
Very much.
Okay, they have a role to play. Then, according to you, when some things are very scientific, like those kind of things we just talked about, and if like there is a crime that has taken place somewhere, what do I expect the investigator or the first person or the police who, I'm forgetting the crime who, procurator, any person who's coming, what is supposed to come? What should I expect from him? It's like if I'm in journalism and I'm coming to you without a camera or something,
There's no job there.
I don't. So according to you, what should the community expect someone to carry? Like one time I saw a certain gentleman in the media. Something happened and we went with a tape measure and he measured something. Actually, right now on the whole of social media they always refer to this person as the tape measure journalism, etc. Now, according to you, in case there is a crime somewhere, what gadget should I expect someone to carry?
Now, the most important gadget is intellectualism.
Intellectually.
What is more needed at a crime scene is your head. You need a smart head. You need smart heads on the crime scene. You need smart heads in the police. That's the
sober mind.
That's the most important gadget that is needed at a crime scene. You need a head that can think, because of course, depending on the nature of the crime scene, of course, if it is an homicide, you need a forensic team that can come with those suits. They put on those white suits to detect CIC, CSI, crime scene investigation, or forensic. You need, if you're going to go to examine the body, you need that scrubber. If you're going to put in the mouth to test, you need the gloves. There's no confiscated gadget that is needed. You get? But if it is a biological examination, some kind what we call forensic examination, there are some. If it is a ballistic officer trained in ballistics, if he is coming to a crime scene, of course, he will come with some measurements to measure the extent of the bullet, the trajectory of the bullet, the direction of the bullet. If it is an accident, tape measures, you see tape measure, you see officers measuring the distance between cars and you get. But what is most important is the lead investigator, what we call the criminal investigator, who is intellectually informed of what he is about to do.
So the investigator must be
because
acquainted
the
with
investigator
the
usually carries a notebook. That is his gadget, primary gadget is a notebook. He will come, you access,
start noting down.
goes to a fast police responder, takes notes, interviews 1, 2, 3 people, takes notes, goes to the forensic team. How did you find the body? Then they go to the situation room. When they go to the situation room, they analyze the evidence, the nature of the crime scene, and they come up with a theory. And then he will determine the direction of the perpetrator. You get?
Yeah. All right. Now, the submission has been a little bit elaborative, and I understand the viewers are seeing, learning a lot from this side. So many things I didn't know in this. And now, I want you to give me a brief picture, because in Uganda I've got so many such assassinations, and the reports haven't been out, have not been out. Actually, even I think when the Ugandans, when Dr. Kaira was killed, the government brought in Scotland Yard. Up to now, we have never got the report.
The report is out.
Is it out now?
Yeah, not published, but it is out.
Well, no, we want it to. Got the
It is not published, but it is out.
It is out, but yeah, we want to think of out, because for me, when I don't see it in the within, okay, when I don't access it, because that is information. If it's not accessed, then I just say it's not yet what out. It's within within the limits of a few people. Then, according to you, why do you think could it be the reason Why do you think that we don't always get a post in Uganda? Couldn't it be the reason because these guys, they, according to the way I've just seen it, how elaborative it is, maybe they mess up somewhere, or they get the results and they don't want to invest to publish them. According to what could be the reason?
One of the overriding factors in a criminal investigation is the fear of crime.
Fear of crime.
The fear of crime. To arrive to a fear of crime, to establish the motive, because that is very key to a criminal investigator. When you go to a crime scene, the first point is what is the motive of the killer. So to establish the motive of the killer, you must look, because the crime scene is divided into three parts. We have the scene itself, we have the criminal, and the victim.
Okay.
So the crime scene, the victim, and the criminal, they're the only parts in the criminal investigations that actually close to hands. But during that actual point of occurrence of the offense, those three parts interacted. The crime scene saw this happening, the criminal saw it happening, and the offender. So you must establish the motive. That's why we look at the history. We must characterize the history of the offender, the purported offender, and the history of the victim. Are they related anywhere? Has he had grudges? Who is the boyfriend? Who is the girlfriend?
Yeah. Anyway, you're right.
My point.
Because this is I saw Mr. Kaindo Tapire saying, is that the only person who had threatened to kill Jeno Katumba Amala was Jejo was Odongo too, when he said that we shall.
Yeah, that post, I saw it
That
on
post.
YouTube, that during the Ojukwata.
So that didn't mean that Mr. Dongo tried to put Simu in hot soup.
Yeah, that was joking. That was joking. But what is important is to establish the motive of the killing. So the motive will take you to the fear of crime. Who hypothetically, logically, who are the likely perpetrators? You must question.
Why?
Is it a history? Is it coming from his wars of previous wars to neighboring countries? Rwanda, Gashasha, Shanghai, Somalia, where is it? Amison? Is it a family related thing? Is it within Yame? So you must establish. Going to the point of your question, that why haven't we had released or concluded investigations in these generals or security forces personnel who have been killed previous in the last 4 years? The point is that some killings happen because of conspiracy. Some killings happen because of conspiracy. Secondly, some release of certain reports, given reports regarding killings of certain people may be against public security or security of the state. Sometimes releasing a certain report may jeopardize the position of the state. So some information, sometimes they can be there
So
inside, an offense can be investigated, reach the conclusion, they can even apprehend somebody there, and it doesn't come to you, the notice of the public, they hand it internal. But so some offenses are too confiscated that they cannot be, it is against public security.
So what you want to tell that doesn't mean that if we the public, we don't see the fruit coming out, doesn't mean that they didn't get the results. Sometimes they get the results and due to.
That is the position I'm trying to arrive at. It is a position, or it is a practice in the third world developing countries. In other countries, you as a state, like the government, you hold accountability. You are accountable to the public on everything.
Like in MBCs.
On everything, you must inform the public on everything. But in these developing countries, stagnant economies. We have leaders who withhold almost everything because releasing of the same can jeopardize the position of the state. We know how much it took for England to release a report on killing of the princess
Christiana.
Princess Diana. You know how much it took. You get. Sometimes you withhold information for the betterment. You don't want to alert the nation, don't want the population, don't want to. You get. But it does not take away the responsibility of government to be held accountable on each and every affair state.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zimongwiza. That has been Mr. Zimongwiza Kasule, a criminologist lawyer. You had with me, Bate Siraj, on Reality Media. Watch to the end. It is very, very elaborative and educative. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
It's Reality Media. The incredible facts.
Tebalonze olanya balonzi Mwami Museveni era Mwami Museveni yagambye nti yakubye essimu mpaka saa 6 gwa kiro nga yeegayirira abantu nga candidate gwatunda tatundika.
Bangi beeyambisizza nnyo emitimbagano okutyobola ekitiibwa kya Buganda.
That is Reality Media. Twogera incredible facts. Subscribing, liking, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, buli wamu Instagram.
Twogera mazima.